All right, so are you ready to dive into this question of whether a college degree is really the only key to having a fulfilling life?
Absolutely.
We're going to unpack some really interesting stuff today from Unit 9,
Yeah.
and I have a feeling this is going to kind of shake up what a lot of people think.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
So Unit 9 starts out with this really powerful quote from Nelson Mandela. He says, "Education is the most powerful weapon which you can use to change the world."
Mm.
It's Mandela.
Mm.
How can you disagree with that, right?
Right.
But then, almost like a plot twist,
Yeah.
we're hit with this statistic. 1/3 of the world's billionaires don't have a bachelor's degree.
Wow.
Bill Gates,
Mm-hmm.
Zuckerberg,
Yeah.
Steve Jobs. I mean, these guys built empires without needing that piece of paper.
It's true. And it's something that makes this whole question so interesting.
Yeah.
It's not about the education itself, but it's those other qualities that drive that grit, the pure determination that you just can't really learn in a classroom.
Right.
These billionaires saw an opportunity and they were able to build their own path.
They, redefined what success even means.
Yeah.
Right. But then there's the other side of this. What about all the reasons why someone would take that traditional college route?
Well, you also can't ignore that in a lot of fields, those credentials are really important.
Sure.
Like Unit 9 talks about medicine as an example, and for good reason, you don't want just anyone operating on you.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense.
You want someone who's gone to med school.
Plus, there's something to be said for that structured environment that you get in a university.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention the lower unemployment rates for people with degrees.
Mm-hmm. Right? It can really help you get a job in this competitive market.
So that diploma can really open some doors.
And it's not just about getting the job either.
Yeah.
It's about all the connections you make when at university, the mentors, your fellow students, you're building relationships that could be super valuable throughout your career.
It's like a built-in support system, almost a network you can tap into.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've got good points on both sides.
We do.
But then Unit 9 throws this curveball with a quote from Einstein himself.
Okay.
He said, "Reading after a certain age diverts the mind too much from its creative pursuits. Any man who reads too much and uses his own brain too little falls into lazy habits of thinking."
Wow.
That really makes you think, huh?
It does.
It's like even with all this knowledge available to us, it's more about how we process it, how we apply it, how we think critically and creatively.
Absolutely.
So are we saying ditch the textbooks and go brainstorm business ideas in our parents' basements? I'm kind of kidding. But what I'm hearing is that maybe it's not about one side or the other.
Yeah.
Maybe it's about finding that balance between formal education
Yeah.
and actually applying it in the real world.
I think that's a great point. And Unit 9 actually talks about this balance. Technical skills are important, of course.
Right.
But so are those soft skills, being able to communicate well and being able to work with other people.
Yeah.
And you often develop those skills through experience by dealing with real-world projects and challenges.
You don't learn that from a textbook.
Exactly.
It's like you need both, right?
Yeah,
The knowledge and knowing how to use it.
definitely.
And you know what else I thought was super interesting?
What's that?
That infographic you shared, some of those stats were pretty mind-blowing.
Oh, yeah. Like what?
Well, like how almost half the people who get advanced business degrees end up starting their own businesses.
It's true. It really shows you how those programs can help you develop that entrepreneurial mindset.
Totally.
It's not just about learning the information. It's about using it to create something new.
And then there was that one stat that really surprised me.
Yeah.
It said that sometimes community college grads have even higher employment rates than university grads.
Yeah, that's a head scratcher, right?
It really makes you question everything you thought you knew about what it takes to be successful.
It does, and Unit 9 even talks about how the economy is changing in a way that makes it possible to move up in the world even without a traditional 4-year degree.
So are you saying it all comes down to what you're trying to achieve? Like what your own personal learning style is and how comfortable you are with taking risks?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe you're someone who thrives in that structured academic environment where you can really dive deep into research.
Right.
Or maybe you learn best by jumping in and figuring things out as you go.
Yeah.
Neither one is better or worse. It's just about knowing yourself and choosing the path that makes the most sense for you.
It's about what works best for you and your goals.
Exactly.
So it's not about following some predetermined path. It's about finding what works for you.
And that's what makes this whole thing so exciting, right?
Yeah.
You get to decide what a fulfilling life means to you.
It's not about chasing someone else's definition of success. It's about making your own.
Exactly.
But here's something I was thinking about after going through all this stuff, and I bet some of you are wondering this too.
Mm-hmm.
If it's not just about getting that diploma, then what role does education have in all this?
That's the million-dollar question.
Right.
And honestly, there's no easy answer.
Yeah.
But I do think it goes back to that idea of finding a balance between different approaches.
Yep.
Like maybe these days, formal education is less about memorizing facts and dates.
Right.
And more about giving you the tools to think for yourself and adapt to a world that's changing really fast.
To become a lifelong learner, always open to new ideas and willing to grow.
Exactly. And maybe it's also about focusing on those things that make us human.
Yeah.
You know, the things that AI can't do, like being creative and understanding other people's feelings, being able to think critically and really connect with others.
So it's like we're coming back to that Mandela quote,
Yeah.
but with a whole new perspective.
Yeah.
Education as a tool for change, not just out in the world, but within ourselves.
That's a great way to put it.
So as you think more about all of this, just remember, there's no right or wrong answer.
It's true.
The important thing is to keep asking those big questions, keep learning, and keep moving forward on your own path.
Because at the end of the day, the most fulfilling life is the one you build for yourself.
Couldn't have said it better myself.